time to decorate our cake board. I always love to have a really cool board treatment with my cakes just to help tie in the board to the actual cake design. I've decided to go with, I call it like a Chinese starburst. It's going to be kind of like the top of the circus tent, but I want some of the triangle panels to be fat and some to be thin. So we are going to first cover the cake board in this lime green color. I actually was originally going to go with yellow, but then I decided against it and I decided to go with a lime green. So it originally was a golden yellow, and then I just added a whole bunch of electric green to it. So it's pretty much the same thing. It's just a little more bright, I find, because of the yellow. And then we're going to make the Chinese starburst using these two colors. This is electric purple, and I just went really heavy with color. It's like very saturated. And then this is an electric pink with a little bit of purple added to it to mute it. I just like the look of this dusty pink with the electric purple. Okay, let's start with our base color of the electric green. We're going to start with our electric green base color. When we roll this out, I actually want to roll it nice and thin. I don't want added bulk and weight to this cake board. We're already layering two different effects on top of each other. All right, I'd say we're there. So I'm going to take the fondant, flip it over my arm, take my board, and just flop it back over. Now I'm just going to readjust it. Just take my rolling pin, quick little pass over, making sure it's even thinner. This helps stick the fondant to the cake board. If you have a softer brand, I'm actually using the Easy Ice here. It's nice and soft, and I find it sticks to the board naturally. Take a pastry wheel and just start going around the edge. You could even use an offset palette knife. I find there's more drag that way, so I like to use the pastry wheel. There we go. Remove our scraps. I'm just going to go around, smoothing down the edge, getting rid of any little frayed bits. I just have a little bit of water on this paintbrush here, and wherever I can find a loose little edge, I'm just going to pop it under and just run it along the edge. So take that loose edge, lift it up, just pop the paintbrush underneath, and there you go. Nice and secure. I'm just using my offset palette knife here, trimming up the larger frayed pieces that my pastry wheel left behind. It's just me being a perfectionist again, because this will be covered with a ribbon. Okay, there's your base color. Just pop that aside while we get the panels ready. For the triangles, we're going to roll out both of our colors for our triangular panels for the Chinese starburst. So let's get started with the dusty pink. The starburst is going to be 2 inches smaller than the cake board, so I'm going to be using a 14-inch template to cut out my circles for the triangular panels. Now I don't have a 14-inch cake board on hand, so I'm just going to be using my 14-inch cake pan. So I'm just going to lay it on top and just cut out a 14-inch circle. with your pastry wheel or palette knife, paring knife, whatever you have, just cut around your template 14 inches all the way around. There we go. Remove the excess. And there is your 14-inch circle. We're going to move this aside and we're going to cut out our accent color because I like to have both circles to work with at the same time. Actually, I've got a little, I use this board to transfer things around a lot. So I'm just going to slide. This is a 12-inch board. Oops. Try not to warp how round it is. And we're just going to lay that aside. I'll even leave it on the board. And now we'll do the same with this color. Oh, you do want to try to match the thickness between the two colors, so when we panel, there's no like dip between the two colors. We want a nice even spacing between the two. Once you have both of your accent colors rolled out for the triangle panels, we are going to begin to cut the panels into one of the circles. So using a ruler and a palette knife or a pastry or whatever you have, we're going to begin to cut our lines. Now the cake is going to be offset on the cake board, but the starburst is going to be centered. So we want as if the center point is coming from the center of our cake. So we're going to start the center offset. So like right here, this will be like our central point. Just start one cut. Like I said, I'd like to have some thick and thin panels. So our next one, our center point is here. So let's do Now it would help if I had a ruler that went all the way across. Now some of you may have a ruler, and that's just convenient. So we always want to intersect at the center point now. Rub out those lines. I'm pushing down on my ruler too hard. Now one more, I think down the center here, or maybe, all right, there is our guide. So we're going to get our board, our base color, and we're going to pick our first triangle. Okay, let's begin to compile our design on our board now. So I'm going to take my first triangle, starting with the back, and I'm going to lay it on the cake board. Now I want this whole circular design to be centered on this board. So I'm not gluing anything in place right now. So then with the next triangle, I'm going to take it and I'm going to bring it over to the purple here. And I'm going to cut out the panel out of the purple. I'm just going to use a ruler to keep everything still for me. You could do it if you've got a steady hand. in place. It's not very Andrea friendly either. Kind of squish that panel a little. Pick that up. Bring it over to here. This spacing is looking pretty even right now, so I'm happy. I think I've got it pretty centered right off the bat. Take that, lay that on. Okay, that's pretty good, man. Totally awesome. I'm going to secure these triangular panels in place with a little bit of water now. Just going to lift the panel up a little bit and just stick my brush under. A little bit of water, just to lock it in place. Try not to misshape your panels. Try to massage the fondant into the creases so that they line up nicely, nice and flush. Now for the final touch to our board treatment, I have some colorful dragées here. Now these are 7mm. I've got hot pink and light blue. Cotton candy colors, my favorite, apparently. So we're going to make a rope of the dragées all the way around the Chinese starburst. And I kind of want it to look like carnival lights. So to adhere them in place, I'm going to use piping jelly. Just load my brush up, and I'm going to brush right along the very edge here. All right, there we have a nice little spot already all prepped up. So I've got my little lids here already full of the beads, and we're just going to pop, whoops, one after another. You can give them a nice little push, not too hard, or you'll start to shift them. Now you just continue this all the way around until you make it back to the end, or the start, sorry. Go, and it even ended on a good note. Even. There we go. All the way around. You spin it fast enough, it looks like flashing lights. Flash, 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 flash. Oh, that looks so freaking cool. Woo! Just don't do it. Ah, that looks amazing. You can see like the colors start to like actually move.